How's it going, folks? I'm Mark from Like-Minded Lunatics.
I'm Ladi from Like-Minded. Oh, from where? From Like-Minded Lunatics. Who is this person? Don't laugh at me. Sometimes my tongue gets twisted. Who is this person?
So we're joined today by David Marino. David Marino has a TV show here in Austin, the Marino Show. He's also just a good friend. And folks, David, tell folks what your show is about. Hopefully they'll check that out on both YouTube, and you have it also streaming
Instagram.
on...
Yeah, and then Facebook, all that. But anyhow, I basically interview a lot of horror-related actors, like from stuff from the 80s, and not just horror, but pop culture, local creatives. So yeah, catch that show, mostly horror.
Yeah, it's such a great show, and occasionally he has us on his guests, which is a good time. So I'll put links to all that stuff in the description of this video. But today, David, we are going to do a Ladi's Rockucation. Now, Ladi, explain what that is.
A Ladi's Rockucation is specifically something Mark came up with for me so that he could expose me to the kind of music that I never, ever listened to in my life and probably never would have had it not been for Mark.
And we've done some really interesting stuff.
We've done some great stuff.
And I really haven't dived that deep into grunge on the channel, primarily because it's just too painful for me. And so I thought the way to do it is kind of bring it in under a Ladi's Rockucation.
Oh!
It makes it less painful, because I get to talk about it in kind of an academic way, and I don't have to get sad. You know what I mean?
You're going to make me sad already. Why are you doing this?
So today we're going to take a look at Candlebox's Far Behind. Now this comes out in 1992, so essentially the same year as Nirvana's Nevermind came out. And this was a huge, huge hit for Candlebox. So I think that's all I'm going to tell you about it.
Are they a regular? Are they still around?
Absolutely. In fact, I think they had a new album that just came out here recently. All the folks in the band are still doing good, which is minor miracle from that time period. They still sound amazing. In fact, I think Ricky and I are going to respond in a future video, and I'll post that up here when we do it. We're going to do a comparison between the studio version of the song, and they just released an acoustic version of it, which is beautiful. So I think we're going to respond to that at some point, but I wanted you to see this video and get your immediate reaction to it. David can help me out with it too.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Okay,
sound good?
Go.
All right, here we go. I've got the lyrics pulled up for you. Candlebox 1992, Far Behind. Come on.
This is an ominous beginning.
I know. Here we go. Remember it?
Yes.
Now maybe did I mean to treat you bad, yeah, but I did it anyway. And then maybe some would say your life was sad, yeah, but you lived it anyway. And so maybe your friends that stand around you watch you crumble as you fall down to the ground. And then someday your friends that stand beside as you were flying, oh, you were flying oh so high. But then someday people look at you, they're what they call their own, they watch you suffer. Yeah, here you're coming home. And then someday we can take our time to brush the leaves aside so you can reach us. Hey, but you left me far behind.
All right, I'll stop right here. So what are we thinking?
I can see why this makes you sad.
Yeah, this is a heavy one. Mm-hmm. It's a heavy one. I love how beautiful it starts off. We start off with that really clean guitar. We do kind of an arpeggiated G there, and then we've got like a C add 9, but it's beautiful and clean and crisp. And then it starts to get heavy, but the lyrics are just heartbreaking. I didn't mean to treat you bad. I did it anyway. Some would say your life was sad, but you lived it anyway. Your friends, they stand around and they watch you crumble as you falter to the ground. And then someday, your friends, they stand beside as you were flying. You were flying so high. Then someday people look at you for what they call their own. They watch you suffer. They hear you calling home. And then someday we could take our time to brush the leaves aside so you could reach us. but you left me far behind.
This already makes me sad.
I love the aesthetic of the video as well.
Yeah.
I like it when you play me
like
happy
that.
music, Mark.
I know. Well, shit, we should bail on this one immediately because it don't get happier.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and the music doesn't sound happy either. You know, like how sometimes we've talked about how the music is happier than the lyrics.
Yes, yeah. So we looked at Nirvana's "Come As You Are." Y'all can go watch that over here. By this point, that should be out. And aesthetically, the video looks pretty similar. It's kind of blown out colors. Mm-hmm. The focus isn't pulled in very tight. A lot of times, we're in a dilapidated building. Things just look devastated. And then the lyrics to this and the music, yeah, heavy. That's devastating. Now, maybe I didn't mean to treat you bad. I did it anyway. Some would say you're left with what you had, but you couldn't share the pain.
Couldn't share the pain of what she suffered. Now maybe.
Now, do you think they meant she couldn't share the pain because she didn't know how, or she couldn't share the pain because they wouldn't let her?
So unlike a lot of other songs, there is a very clear inspiration to this. I can tell you what it is, or we can watch the entire thing. You
Okay,
can
let's
do your
watch the whole
reading,
thing.
and then I can whatever you want to do. If you want me to tell you, I can tell you.
Watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Could have made my own mistakes, but I live with what I've known. And then maybe we might share in something great. Won't you look at where we've grown? Won't you look at where we've grown? And then someday comes tomorrow holds sense of what I feel for you in my mind. As you trip the fire line, and that cold day when you lost control. Shame you left my life so soon. You should have told me. Hey, but you left me far behind.
To me, that's my favorite verse. Someday comes, tomorrow holds a sense of what I feel for you in my mind as you trip the final line. And that cold day when you lost control, shame you left my life so soon. You should have told me, but you left me far behind. And I love the way he sings that. If you listen to the way he sings that verse, he like runs the lines together. It's an interesting way he vocalizes.
Cold day when, as you trip the fire line. In my day comes tomorrow holds sense of what I feel for you in my mind. As you trip the fire line, and that cold day when you lost control. Shame you left my life so soon. You should have told me. Hey, but you left me far behind. Now maybe I didn't mean to treat you so bad. Oh, but I did it anyway. Now maybe some would say you left with what you had. Oh, but you couldn't share the pain. No, no, no.
No, I don't know how y'all were raised, but Sofa on the Porch feels very familiar to me.
Really?
Was that
Wow.
was that not something y'all did? Yeah, sofa on the porch, fantastic. In the middle of the country, sofa on the porch, laying outside, smoking, drinking. This is nice. This is nice. It just feels like home. What this this has always kind of reminded me of, David, do you remember The Crow?
Yes.
I'm sure you watched it as well.
I've never seen The Crow.
Okay. Do you remember where he kills Fun Boy
Yes, I do.
with Darla?
Yes.
Do you remember where he dies? He kills him in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
always...
was he not a fun boy? Because that's a nice name.
No.
No, he was not a fun boy.
Okay.
Yeah, he deserved
Yes.
the killing in the bathtub. Now, Martin's vocals here, fantastic.
Well, that is just sad.
It's a heavy one, isn't it?
It is
Oh
heavy.
my God.
Most of the grunge tunes were. So one of the things that I love about this song is, like I said, the clean guitar, and then they move into that distorted guitar, and to me it just kind of captures like all the feelings of grief, all the feelings of loss, the different versions of it. Those musical movements to me kind of capture it.
I do want to say this. This sounds, because you told me that the grunge folks did not like the name grunge, that they consider themselves.
Either post-punk or rock or heavy metal. Like
Because this feels like with just another couple of amplifiers, this would have been heavy metal.
yeah, it's a lot closer. I mean, so we looked at, let's see, what did we look at? Now I'm blanking.
Which one, L7?
No, I'm trying to think of the chords. So like the chord structure of this is, these are all, Ugly Kid Joe's Everything About You.
Yeah.
So they were using like whole open chords, and they're doing the same thing here. So normally open chords, like just a open D or a open C,
They're friendly chords.
They're friendlier chords, and so like that beginning, and I can play it for you, but that beginning is all open stuff. And so
Are you going to play it for us?
I am not going to without practicing.
Okay.
I learned my lesson on that. But it doesn't sound too sad. But then we get into that heavier rhythm, and that sounds sad. And so that's what I mean by like the juxtaposition between the types of sounds in the song. I think it just kind of adds to that heavy feeling of grief and loss.
And you were saying earlier that there's a whole inspiration for this. What is that?
There is, yeah. So the front man from Malfunction and also Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood, he died from an overdose. He was signed, I think they were signed to Sub Pop Records. I think I told you about that. That's
Yeah.
the label that signed Nirvana and things like that. And that was a devastating blow in that community because he was so well loved. In fact, Soundgarden has a song about it, Loud Love. There's a number of folks who have written songs about losing Andrew Wood. And it was really one of the first losses due to heroin that this movement would have. Like we lose, from this point forward, we lose a lot more folks. So that death, I think, they say that suicides beget more suicides and drug abuse kind of. I think it was just kind of a snowballing effect from this point forward. So some of these lines will in fact become slightly prescient with other bands. So Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, he would overdose. And he would overdose, one of his friends is in the apartment with him and is trying to get him to stop, and he won't. And apparently his friend tells him that I'm just leaving. I can't watch this. And apparently the last words that Lane Staley ever spoke was, "Don't leave me like this." And he had to leave them. He just left them. And so these lines, like, you couldn't share the pain, they watch you suffer, like all of these lines would end up coming true with a bunch of other people in this genre. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I think one of the reasons I wanted to show you this one and Come As You Are and L7 was to give you an impression of grunge that I don't think that you had.
I didn't. I had it was. This is far more introspective, far more painful, and far more human than I would have believed.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense. And you remembered this when it started playing, right?
Yes.
So was this a big deal?
This was a big song because when you start, I hadn't heard this in a long time, but as soon as the first chord hit, I'm like, yeah, I know that song. It was on all the time at that moment.
Yeah, it was on all the stations. Huge hit.
Really?
Huge hit for them. Yeah.
I was hibernating.
Well, folks, let us know in the comments what you think. What are your memories of this time period? I have very clear memories. David, I'm sure, does have clear memories. Ladi is just...
I have no
Ladi doesn't have
none. So we're making memories together.
Yes.
So let us know in the comments what you think. Please make sure you check out David Marino Show. I'll put all the links into this video description. We would certainly appreciate it. And take care of yourselves, folks. And we'll see you soon.
Adios.
Bye.
Hey there, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this Ladi's Rockucation as much as we enjoyed filming it, and I hope you check out some of the other Ladi's Rockucation episodes, and leave us some comments. Ladi and I love reading your reactions to these. Also, please make sure you check out David Marino Show. David is a great friend, and he's doing some really cool stuff on his television show. I've included links on how to check out his show in the description of this video, so go show David some love. And finally, let me leave you with this. If you are ever in a place where you're feeling isolated and all alone, and like you might have to do something drastic, please just wait. Wait a day, wait 2 days, man. And while you're waiting, see if you can't talk to somebody. I've included links on places that show folks support in the description of this video. You can always reach out to us. We're just dipshits who have a YouTube video, our YouTube channel, but we'd be glad to talk to you. And as we're going out, I'm gonna see if I can't play a little bit of Far Behind. Now I'm gonna warn you, I've only been playing about a year, so it'll be a little shaky, but let's see what we can do, because this is a beautiful song and I love it. So here we go.